My family banned me from Thanksgiving, then showed up at my penthouse expecting rooms, but they didn't realize I'd changed all the locks and donated their spaces to foster kids. Hit that subscribe button real quick and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always amazed by how far these stories reach. I was in my corner office reviewing contracts when my phone buzzed. Mom's text lit up my screen. Thanksgiving at mine this year. Everyone's coming except you. We've decided you're too busy for family anyway. My hands trembled as I read it again. Too busy? I'd missed one dinner because of a work emergency, and suddenly I was the family villain? I called immediately. Mom, what's happening? Why am I uninvited? Her voice was cold, mechanical. Your sister Keisha thinks you're showing off with your success. Marcus agrees. We all talked, and honestly, Destiny, you've changed. That penthouse, that car, you're not the girl we raised. My throat tightened. I worked for everything I have. I put myself through law school while y'all. There it is, she snapped. That attitude. This is exactly why we need space from you. I stared at my degrees on the wall, my chest burning. Space. From the daughter who paid off Dad's medical bills last year? Who bought Marcus that car when his broke down? Who sent Keisha money for her wedding without being asked to? Fine, I whispered. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. But my cousin Tanya called minutes later, breathless. Girl, you didn't hear this from me, but they're planning something. Keisha told Aunt Rhonda they're teaching you a lesson about family being more important than money. They're gonna show up at your place Christmas week expecting you to host them like some apology tour. I sat back, my mind racing. They wanted to teach me a lesson? Oh, they had no idea what lesson was coming. That night I couldn't sleep. I paced my penthouse, looking at the 3 guest bedrooms I'd decorated specifically for family visits. The cream walls, the expensive linens, the photos I'd framed of all of us from better times. It all felt like a cruel joke now. My phone lit up with an Instagram post from Keisha. A photo of the whole family at Thanksgiving, everyone smiling. Everyone except me. The caption read, "Thankful for real family who stays humble and remembers where they came from." My cousin Tanya's words echoed. They're planning something. I opened my laptop and started researching. By 2 a.m., I'd contacted the Northside Foster Care Alliance, an organization I'd volunteered with in law school. Their director, Mrs. Patricia Ferguson, remembered me immediately. Destiny, how are you? We've missed you at our fundraisers. I want to do something different this year, I said. I have 3 fully furnished bedrooms. What if I hosted some kids for the holidays? The ones who age out of group homes but have nowhere to go for Christmas. Her pause was loaded with emotion. You have no idea how many 17 and 18-year-olds spend Christmas in empty dorm rooms. They're legally independent but emotionally still children. This would be Destiny, this would change lives. Send me the paperwork. I worked through the weekend, getting background checked, attending orientation sessions, meeting with social workers. And slowly, carefully, I started moving my family's belongings out of those bedrooms into storage. 2 weeks later, I met them at Mrs. Ferguson's office. Imani was 17, aging out of foster care in January, studying for her nursing entrance exams. Her eyes were old, haunted by years of temporary homes. Darius was 18, built like a linebacker but gentle, working 2 jobs while taking community college classes. And Maya, 16, was quiet, artistic, her sketchbook never leaving her hands. You really want us in your home for Christmas? Imani asked, her voice small and disbelieving. I really do, I said. I have space and honestly I could use the company. But there are rules. You focus on your futures. You respect the space. And you let me spoil you a little bit because that's what the holidays are for. Darius's eyes watered. Nobody's ever. I mean, group homes don't do Christmas like real people. Well, this year you're doing Christmas like real people, I said firmly. Maya showed me her sketchbook, drawings of families, homes, Christmas trees. I draw what I wish for, she whispered. My heart cracked open. These kids were hungry for what my family took for granted and threw away. As we discussed logistics, my phone buzzed. Marcus, Mom wants your address confirmed. We're coming December 23rd. Keisha's bringing the kids. Book our Ubers from the airport. I smiled coldly at the text. Mrs. Ferguson, let's move the timeline up. Can the kids move in December 20th? Absolutely. I texted Marcus back. Address hasn't changed. See you then. December 20th arrived cold and bright. I stood in my penthouse as Imani, Darius, and Maya walked in with their donated suitcases and wide eyes. The city sprawled below us through floor-to-ceiling windows, and for a moment, none of them could speak. This is where we're staying? Maya breathed. This is your home for the holidays, I corrected. Imani, you're in the blue room. It's got the best natural light for studying. Darius, you're in the corner room with the city view. Maya, the room with the window seat is yours. I thought you might like sketching there. I'd redecorated everything. Imani's room had a new desk, medical textbooks I'd bought, and a laptop. Darius's had a weight bench and a bookshelf full of business books. Maya's had an art station with supplies that made her cry when she saw them. Why are you doing this? Imani asked, sitting on her bed like she was afraid it would disappear. I sat beside her. Because you deserve it. Because I remember what it feels like when family disappoints you, and I wanted to show you that chosen family can be better. My phone buzzed constantly. Mom, can't wait to see you. Keisha, the kids are so excited for Auntie Destiny's fancy place. Marcus, better have my room ready. Tanya called, frantic. Girl, they're all talking about it. Your mom bought new outfits for the trip. They're planning to stay a whole week. Keisha's telling everybody you're finally coming around. Let them think that, I said calmly. Destiny, what are you planning? Justice. December 22nd, the penthouse transformed into something magical. Darius and I hung Christmas lights while Imani baked cookies from a recipe her grandmother taught her before she died. Maya painted ornaments at the kitchen counter, and for the first time since I moved in, the place felt like a home. I've never had a real Christmas, Darius admitted, untangling lights. Group homes try, but it's not the same. You're just counting days until everyone goes back to their real families and you're alone again. What was your worst Christmas? I asked. His jaw tightened. I was 14. My caseworker promised she'd take me to her family dinner. He forgot. I ate vending machine food and watched TV alone. Imani overheard from the kitchen. I was 12, new placement. The family already had 3 kids. Christmas morning, everyone had piles of presents. I got a used book and socks. The mom said, "We didn't know you'd still be here." Maya's voice was barely audible. I was 10. My foster dad got drunk and told me I ruined Christmas by existing. That I was a burden nobody wanted. The room fell silent. I felt my resolve crystallize into something diamond hard. These kids, these amazing, resilient, beautiful kids, had been treated like inconveniences their whole lives. And my family, who had everything, wanted to use me like a hotel while punishing me for succeeding? Not anymore. Hey, I said, making them look at me. That ends now. You're wanted here. You belong here. And tomorrow, when some people show up expecting something they don't deserve, you're going to see what happens when you stand up for yourself. December 23rd, 11 a.m. My doorbell camera showed them. Mom, Dad, Keisha with her husband and 2 kids, Marcus with his girlfriend. 8 people total, drowning in luggage. Designer bags, shopping bags, wrapped presents. Marcus was already filming for Instagram. Destiny better have breakfast ready. Keisha laughed to the camera. Big sis gotta show out for the family. I watched from my phone sitting on the couch between Imani and Maya. Darius stood by the window, arms crossed. We discussed this moment. They knew everything. You ready? Imani asked me. Born ready. I pressed the intercom. Can I help you? Mom's voice came through, sugary and fake. Destiny. Baby, it's us. Let us up. I'm sorry, who is us exactly? Silence. Then Dad's confused voice. Destiny, it's your family. Stop playing and buzz us in. It's cold. Hi family, I repeated slowly. That's interesting because my family uninvited me from Thanksgiving. Said I was too busy and too changed. Said I needed to learn a lesson. Keisha grabbed the intercom. Destiny, we're here to reconcile. We talked about it and we decided to give you another chance. Now open this door. Give me another chance? I laughed, cold and sharp. No. Marcus's voice rose. What do you mean no? We flew here. We have reservations at restaurants. The kids want to see the Penthouse. Should have thought about that before you banned me from Thanksgiving and posted about real family on Instagram. My voice was steel. You wanted to teach me a lesson about what matters. Consider it learned. Destiny, Monique Harris, you open this door right now. Mom's voice went shrill, angry. I am your mother. And I'm your daughter who you discarded because I succeeded, I shot back. The daughter who paid Dad's hospital bills. Who sent Marcus money. Who helped fund Keisha's wedding. But one work emergency and I'm too busy for family. Dad's voice came through, quieter. Sweetheart, we can talk about this. Let us come up. No. Because you didn't come to talk. You came expecting 3 bedrooms, home-cooked meals, and a free vacation. You came to parade through my penthouse and feel superior while using everything I've worked for. Who told you that? Keisha screamed. I have eyes, Keisha. And ears. And a brain. You really thought I wouldn't figure out you were using reconciliation as a free Christmas trip. Imani squeezed my hand. Maya was recording on her phone. I'd asked her to document everything. Darius stood like a sentinel. Fine. Marcus yelled. You're right. We thought you'd be desperate to prove yourself to us. That you'd kiss our asses because you felt guilty. But you know what? You are too good for us now. You're cold and selfish. Cold. My voice dropped dangerously low. You want to know what's cold? Telling your daughter she's not welcome at Thanksgiving, then showing up expecting her to house and feed you. That's cold. The intercom went quiet. Then Mom played her trump card. If you don't let us in, you'll never see us again. You'll be alone forever. I smiled, looking at the 3 kids who'd made my home alive again. I'm already not alone. What do you mean you're not alone? Dad's voice carried suspicion. I mean those 3 bedrooms you expected? They're occupied. Stunned silence. By who? Keisha's voice went up 3 octaves. By Imani, who's studying nursing and has nobody to believe in her. By Darius, who works 2 jobs and has never had a family Christmas. By Maya, who's 16 and has been told her entire life she's a burden. They're staying through New Year's. Foster kids. Mom shrieked. You gave our rooms to foster kids? They're not your rooms. I exploded. They're my rooms in MY Penthouse that I bought with MY money. You don't get to claim space in my life after kicking me out of yours. Marcus was furious. This is insane. You're choosing strangers over blood. No, I'm choosing people who appreciate kindness over people who only show up when they want something. And you know what else? I paused, letting it sink in. I've already started the paperwork to become their permanent guardian. Imani ages out in 3 weeks with nowhere to go. The system was going to dump her into nothing. Not on my watch. Imani's head whipped toward me. What? We'll talk later, I mouthed. Dad's voice came through and for the first time he sounded tired. Destiny, your mother was wrong about Thanksgiving. I told her it was a bad idea, but she and Keisha convinced me you needed humbling. I'm sorry. You're sorry because your plan failed, Dad. Not because you hurt me. That's not. It is. They didn't leave. They stayed in my lobby, arguing, planning, scheming. My doorman, Clayton, a 60-year-old veteran who'd worked the building for 15 years, called up. Miss Harris, they're trying to convince me you'd want them up there. Your mother's crying. The kids look cold. What do you want me to do? Nothing, I said firmly. They made their choice at Thanksgiving. They can make their next choice now. Leave with dignity or get escorted out. Understood. But Keisha had one more card. She called my phone directly, bypassing the intercom. You self-righteous bitch, she hissed. You think you're better than us because you have money? Because you got lucky with some law degree. Lucky? My voice was ice. I worked full-time through college. I studied while you partied. I took loans I'm still paying off while you asked Mom and Dad for everything. Don't you dare call my hard work luck. We're family, Destiny. No, Keisha. Family shows up. Family supports. Family doesn't uninvite you from Thanksgiving to teach you a lesson, then show up for Christmas expecting you to host them like nothing happened. You wanted to humble me? Congratulations. You taught me exactly who you are. I'm your sister. You're a stranger who happens to share my DNA. My voice cracked, finally showing emotion. You posted about real family staying humble. You want to know what's humble? 3 kids who have nothing but still say thank you for everything. Who help with dishes without being asked. Who appreciate a warm bed because they've slept in cold ones. That's humility. You're entitled. She hung up. Darius stood beside me. You okay? I will be. They tried everything. Mom called every 5 minutes, alternating between guilt and fury. Marcus tried the think of the kids angle. His nephews wanted to see me. Dad sent a long text about family forgiveness and Christian values. But Keisha, ever the manipulator, went nuclear. He posted on Facebook. Disappointed doesn't even cover it. My sister chose to house random foster kids instead of her own family for Christmas. She's turned her back on the people who raised her, loved her, and supported her dreams. Money changes people. Pray for her soul. The comments flooded in. Family friends I hadn't spoken to in years suddenly had opinions. Some called me selfish. Others called me cold. But then something unexpected happened. Tanya commented first. Y'all banned her from Thanksgiving and now you're mad she moved on? The math ain't matting. Then my law school friend Jasmine. Destiny paid her father's hospital bills and funded half of Keisha's wedding. Where's that energy? Then Mrs. Ferguson, the foster care director. I've worked with Destiny for months on this placement. She's giving 3 children aging out of care their first real Christmas. If that's cold, the world needs more ice. And suddenly the tide turned. People started asking questions. Why was I uninvited from Thanksgiving? What lesson was being taught? Why did my family think they could show up unannounced expecting rooms? My doorbell camera showed them checking their phones, faces falling as the public opinion shifted. But they still didn't leave. Until Clayton called up again. Miss Harris, they're refusing to leave the lobby. Should I call the police? I looked at Imani, Darius, and Maya, all watching me with worried eyes. Yes. 2 officers arrived within 10 minutes. Through the door camera, I watched them question my family, who immediately turned on the waterworks. Mom clutched her chest, playing the "My daughter abandoned me" card. Keisha waved her phone, showing the Facebook post as if it proved something. But Clayton, bless him, had printed out my lobby sign and records. They're not on Ms. Harris's approved guest list. She's verbally stated multiple times she doesn't want them here. They're trespassing. Officer Martinez, I could see her name tag, looked at my mom. Ma'am, is it true your daughter wasn't invited to your Thanksgiving celebration? That's complicated, Mom stammered. It's actually pretty simple, the officer said. She's not obligated to host you just because you're related. She's asked you to leave. You need to leave. But it's Christmas. Keisha wailed. What kind of person does this at Christmas? Officer Rodriguez spoke up. What kind of family bans someone from Thanksgiving, then shows up demanding hospitality at Christmas? The silence was deafening. You have two choices, Martinez continued. Leave now or be escorted out and potentially charged with trespassing. Your call. I watched Marcus pull Keisha aside, both of them arguing. Dad put his head in his hands. Mom kept looking at the camera as if I'd suddenly changed my mind and come running down. I didn't move. Finally, they grabbed their luggage and left. But not before Keisha looked directly at the camera and mouthed, "This isn't over." I turned off the screen and found myself surrounded by 3 teenagers. That was the bravest thing I've ever seen, Imani whispered. That was your family? Darius asked carefully. The ones who made you feel the way you did. I nodded. Maya hugged me, her thin arms surprisingly strong. You saved us from them without even meeting us yet. You picked us. Christmas Eve we cooked together. Imani taught us her grandmother's mac and cheese recipe, the only good thing that woman ever gave me, she said with a sad smile. Darius made his mother's collard greens from memory, tears streaming down his face as he explained she died when he was 8. Maya decorated cookies with the precision of an artist, creating tiny edible masterpieces. We talked about everything. Their lives, my life, the meaning of family. I used to think blood made you family, Darius said, stirring greens. But I've had blood relatives who left me in the system. And I've had caseworkers who fought for me harder than anyone biological ever did. My mom gave me up when I was 5, Imani added. Said I was too difficult because I cried at night. I spent years thinking something was wrong with me. Took therapy to realize some people just don't have the capacity to love the way we need. Maya was quietest but finally spoke. I draw families because I wanted to manifest one. Every picture was a wish. A hope. She looked around the penthouse at us. I think I finally drew one into existence. My phone buzzed. Tanya, your family's at my house losing their minds. Your mom's crying, Keisha's ranting, Marcus is drunk. They can't believe you didn't fold. Me, should I feel bad? Tanya, hell no. I told them you paid for Dad's surgery and they still cut you out. Mom tried to say that was your duty. I asked whose duty was it to invite you to Thanksgiving. She left my house. I laughed, a real laugh that felt like freedom. That night we watched Christmas movies. Maya fell asleep on the couch. Darius and Imani debated their futures. Nursing school, business degree, possibilities they'd never dared dream before. Thank you, Imani said softly, for seeing us. Thank you for letting me. Christmas morning arrived with snow, rare for our city but perfect. I woke to find Imani and Maya already up making breakfast. Darius had ventured out early to get fresh flowers for the table. We'd become a strange, beautiful unit in just 5 days. I'd bought them gifts. A laptop for Imani's nursing school applications, business attire for Darius's interviews and professional art supplies for Maya. But the real gift was their faces when they opened them. Wonder. Gratitude. Hope. I've never had new things, Maya whispered, touching her art set like it might vanish. Later we video called Mrs. Ferguson, who cried seeing them so happy. This is what foster care should be, she sobbed. This is what every child deserves. My phone stayed quiet until late afternoon. Then one text came through from Dad. Your mother's devastated. Keisha's not speaking to us. Marcus is angry. But I want you to know. I'm proud of you. What you did took courage. I'm sorry I didn't stand up for you at Thanksgiving. I'm sorry I let them make you feel less than. You're an incredible woman and those kids are lucky to have you. I hope someday you can forgive us, but I understand if you can't. Merry Christmas, sweetheart. I stared at it for a long time. It wasn't enough. Words never are. But it was something. A crack in the armor. A possibility of future healing, on MY terms. I showed the text to Imani, who read it carefully. What are you going to do? Nothing for now. They need to sit with what they did. Maybe in time we'll talk. Maybe not. Either way, I'm okay. As I was looking around at Darius helping Maya hang her new artwork, at Imani making tea for everyone, at this chosen family we'd built from broken pieces, I was more than okay. I was finally home. Keisha's parting words echoed. This isn't over. He was right. It wasn't over. It was just beginning. But not the way she thought. This was the beginning of me. Boundaries set, worth known, surrounded by people who chose me as much as I chose them. Blood doesn't make family. Love does. Respect does. Showing up does. And I'd finally learned to show up for myself.